My name is Azu Ishekwene. Been a journalist for about 35 plus years. Started out in 1988 and I've done nothing else but journalism in the last 35 plus years. And I think I've thoroughly enjoyed myself. Yes, a number of things inspired me actually. One of the things, of course, was that I thought that I'd reached a point in my career where I should lead younger folks through the seasons that fostered my craft. So it was as a means of documenting that experience that I thought I should do the book. Of course, another reason was also that I had discovered that there was a gap. There was a psychometric gap, or there is a psychometric gap actually, in terms of what students learn at school and what the workplace experience offers them. I also took time to look at some of the texts, some of the current texts, journalism and writing texts available, and I thought that there was a gap. And I think third of all, we also are in a time of great evolution, and there's a whole lot happening, especially in the media space, in the media ecosystem. And the evolution is so rapid that every day we wake up, we're trying to catch our breath. And I thought that perhaps, and there's a huge amount of content out there, all sorts of content especially, but I thought that I needed to put something together that might help younger folks, and perhaps a few older ones, see how they can create value or monetize much of that content in the very, very fast evolving media ecosystem that we are going through today. Yes, I wrote The Trial of Nuhu Ribadu in 2008. And there's a significant difference. That book was, I tried to document, it was after the EFCC was established by the Obasanjo government, and it was quite, it was a novelty, the establishment of the EFCC at the time. And I had the view, and I do not think that I'm alone in it, that the EFCC was doing something quite different and something quite refreshing. But it was happening at such a breathtaking speed that I felt that there was a need to document it. So that was more or less like the documentation of something that was quite novel in that space. And this is an entirely different subject, of course. This is more like a subject, an academic subject, unlike when I was trying to deal with an institution that had just been created by the government to deal with to fight corruption. But this is a different genre. This actually belongs to a different genre. It's academic work, but it's not all academic true. And I think it's also, as I said earlier, something that I think would help younger folks to write more clearly, to write in more relatable and meaningful way, and also to be able to make something of great value from their effort. Money flows in the direction of value, all right? And so it's possible to monetize content if you get to the point where you are creating any sort of content that people find useful and valuable. People will pay for something when it's valuable. And every day we create content, all right? We create content either as a result of our passion, especially, or just for the fun of it. But I think that it begins when we realize that what we are creating is something that people will find valuable. That is the beginning of monetizing anything or creating value for it. Something that is impactful, that is valuable, that is inspiring, and something that people will be willing to part something for. Sometimes it's not just money when I talk about value here. And sometimes it could also be expanding your reach, expanding your network, expanding your impact, inspiring others. Whatever you're doing that sort of creates value can bring money. And I see a lot of people do things, either write or create content. And I want to be clear about what this book is about, and perhaps we'll come to that. Yes, I mean, there's a sense in which the book deals extensively with journalists, all right, and with the media. But the book offers a whole lot more than that. So it's also about content creators, because journalism is just one form of content creation. So whether you are into writing or into the media space, the media ecosystem, or you're just interested in clear, sensible, straightforward, simple, relatable writing, I am sure that you would find the book valuable. And as that value is created, you will find that there is a demand for it, and people are willing to pay for it because of the value, of course, that they get from it. Well, that's another great question. If I wasn't a journalist, I would be a journalist. Okay, that's just my way of saying that. In the 35 plus years that I have been a journalist, I've thoroughly enjoyed every bit of it. There have been ups and downs. Of course, that's normal with everything in life. But I don't know what else I could do better. And I think that my wife often jokes that I would be thoroughly useless if I wasn't doing anything outside journalism. And I find myself more often than not agreeing with her. And this book, I believe, will solve a whole lot of problems. I'm not, I'm quite serious when I say that, because I have written and carefully put this book together in a way that even non-journalists will find it useful. It's useful for people who are interested in clear, concise, impactful communication, especially in the form of writing. Or if you are creating other forms of content, if you're either a student studying any literary-related course, or you're studying journalism, or you're just creating content. Because there are examples in the book of people who are non-journalists. Because you see, journalists has also benefited largely from the diversity of non-journalists who have entered the profession, right? Or who have entered the craft. So it's both for people who are writers or content creators, those in school, or those in the early stages of their career as well. And I think, as I also said somewhere in the book, that a few old dogs, some old dogs might find a few new tricks in the book. I would recommend it very strongly for anyone who is interested in creating valuable content and obtaining value and optimizing value from their effort. I think it was King who said that, you know, for a writer or content creator, reading is at the very center of your creative effort. So anyone who is in the university, I know it's not fashionable these days to say people should, read, but really there isn't any other way of creating anything of value if you are not willing to apply effort. So my advice or my suggestion, if it's of any use to younger people, would be that the more they would find ultimately that the more effort, the more deliberate, intentional effort they put in studying, in reading something that is of value, the more creative they would be, whether in terms of literary expression or just in terms of expressing themselves in whatever form that they may have been gifted or talented to do so. So my advice would be that people should apply themselves more to study and to more study, because it is out of the abundance of what you have that you'll be able to share with others and hopefully make some value from it. I'm hoping that this book, I'm hoping that it travels far. I'm hoping that it inspires. I'm hoping that it makes impact. I'm hoping that it also becomes a point to help younger folks or those who engage with the content as a point to challenge themselves, because they're also, it's a book that in 15 chapters of this book, what I have tried to do is to cover a variety of subjects, beginning from how to find your voice, to what to write about if you want to express that voice in a literary form, to impactful writing, and also to landmines, legal landmines that you might encounter as a content provider. And also I think I dealt with a number of more ongoing or contemporary issues, if you like the issue of AI and trolling. I mean, AI, for example, generative AI has been such a huge subject, and people are concerned for all sorts of reasons about how can I still maintain my originality in the face of AI, when AI can do virtually, so to speak, most things that ordinary people can do for themselves, especially the drudgery. So how can I still be creative? How can I maintain my creative genius, my originality in the face of AI? How can I leverage this very essential and useful technology to become a better, more fulfilled person? And all of that is covered in this book. And I also the book also benefited greatly, and I did, of course, from interviewing a wide range of professionals from different age brackets, including, of course, a Pulitzer Prize winner in journalism. I'm speaking, of course, of Mr. Dele Olojede. So it's also an encounter with people across all generations, people who have practiced, who have been a victim and who have seen this, either been evicted and triumphed, and then we share experiences with them in this book about how they overcame some of the obstacles that they faced. Apart from, of course, as I said, also talking about the seasons that fostered my own craft in my over 35 years as a journalist. So it's a book that I would recommend, not because I am the author, because I guarantee that it's something that is of extreme value.